he doesn't, everything he does with everyone else, it's for money, but he's just with you. He's with you, right? And there's no money exchange, so that makes it special. Not at all. Not at all.
Hold on, Jack.
But
Doesn't it make
me,
sense though?
no, it really doesn't make sense, especially when you see your so-called straight boyfriend now doing gay parties and saying that's only for money
Wow.
and letting men go down on him for extra, but it's only for money.
Allegedly,
Okay.
his attorney told the world basically like, yes, Diddy is a swinger. He can't just go out into a swinging party. He may have to hire people to come into his world to do those swingish
A
things.
swingers party with as many different people as he had at those parties. And understand this, these sessions that he's talking about swinging, there were multiple men. It wasn't just one-on-one action. And I don't know why they're all lying about it. Like they're all lying through their caps. And anybody who doesn't want to see that, well, then that's just on them.
Guys, I'm not even kidding when I say this. Someone inside prison is finally ready to take out Diddy. And trust me, after you hear this, you'll understand why his whole world is falling apart right now. The man who used to live in luxury mansions is now so desperate and tortured in jail that he's ready to throw some of the biggest names in Hollywood under the bus just to survive.
What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
And honestly, I don't blame him after what you're about to hear. What's up, everyone? So, if you've been following the Diddy situation like I have, you know things have been crazy. But this prison orgy news, this changes absolutely everything about his case. We're not talking about some celebrity drama anymore. We're talking about a man fighting for his life behind bars.
No, what happened was is that Diddy had rented a mansion out for Meek Mill's birthday party, and he had rented it for like $25,000. I remember we rented one of Cher's mansion out. You know what I'm saying? And that's the day he had fired his cook, but that's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? It was me, Wolf, Mace, Attck. Was Attck staying there? No, it was just me, Wolf, Mace, Puff, and there was one other person staying in the mansion. But anyway, long story short is that they came recently. This happened a long time ago, but they recently just made a statement that they found loads of cocaine. I wonder what they did with the cocaine, because they didn't turn it over to the police. They said they found loads of cocaine, razor blades. They said that the sheets were bloody, nasty. They found a whole lot of used condoms. And it was a Diddy party, giving in Meek Mill's honor for his birthday. I was like, yo, wow. They said it was disgusting the way that they left the place. So I know they got hit with another bill on top of that $25,000 and the different deposits they had to put down for cleanup and all this other stuff. It was crazy. It was one of the property managers, they had rented out a mansion. I heard about that whole story.
I've got leaked audio, insider information, and some seriously disturbing details about what's happening to Diddy right now. And let me tell you, it's way worse than anything we imagined. So, buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride before we dive into the crazy stuff. Let me catch you up real quick. If you've been living under a rock.
But a lot of people probably believe that, you know, they just want to know, and the government want to know what things those people were doing on those tapes and who was doing shit on those tapes. Because I heard they found like 250 cameras or something like that.
That's what they say. They said they found a lot of cameras.
Right.
There's a lot of rumors about him recording some of these parties, and he's using a lot of this stuff for blackmail, like a lot of celebrities, even as far as politicians. You know, I think even Little Rod said that Diddy had every room taped and bugged.
Right. Well, in his affidavit or his deposition that he gave to the courts, he said every room was bugged, and that he did have tapes and information on a lot of different celebrities and people in the music business, people that were in politicians, and like I said, in other platforms, people that was in the ministry. Allegedly.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, if the feds got their hands on these tapes, you could very well see like a domino effect of shit coming down on everybody.
It depends on what's on the tapes. You know what I'm saying?
Gon now asserts that the feds had to conceal everything after the trial judgment.
So I want to go back to the comments you made earlier about these tapes, and I want you to give more clarity. So you believe they only got Puffy because they want these tapes. What do you think is on these tapes?
Bro, you got to realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party. You got some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives. They used them for that. They used them enough, whereas that now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, what's that, Frantic? The clothing line, the sports line? They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now I ain't talking about the f*** off party part of it, but I'm just saying, he was doing those parties and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite. So it was those parties that everybody wanted to be at. Y'all heard the same thing that I heard. When they raided his house, y'all saw the same thing I saw. They took computers, tapes. You think wasn't nothing on those tapes, y'all? You think they didn't log those tapes? Why did they, hold up. Yo, I just caught a jewel. They used the tape that Cassie sent them. That Cassie had. They used the tape that Cassie had that they showed to the jurors. Why do you think they didn't use the tape that they got from Diddy house? Because that would have them had to log that in. It would have been public record. And at one given time, when it's a public record out of this trial, you could go see it. You could go get those tapes, copies of those tapes, because it's public record. It would have been public record, bro. It's a dirty game out here, man. It's a real dirty game. They are protecting somebody. Why did Damian Wim, the first prosecutor, he trying to put it off on Trump? Oh, Mr. Trump is coming in office, so I'm gonna leave before he get here. Right after he did the Diddy, right after he did the Diddy raid, right after they got the tapes and everything, He retired. Great job. Probably got $1 million house and all that shit somewhere. Because he definitely quit. And tried to put that shit off on Trump. Y'all saw what I saw. Y'all saw what we saw, the same shit. Y'all heard the same thing that I heard. They took over 256, cameras and who had that many cameras in their house? I don't give a how big the mansion is.
Diddy, Sean Combs, is currently locked up on some serious charges. We were talking about witness tampering, violence, and a whole bunch of other stuff that landed him in the Metropolitan Detention Center, also known as NDC. Now, here's the thing that blew my mind. This dude offered the court $50 million
around Jay-Z.
I mean, of course. At parties, at events, everyone knows this. This ain't nothing new. Everyone knows this. The simple fact that that nigga went and did exactly everything I said he was going to do. I said on Piers Morgan, I've been making that jump ever since, but don't nobody want to give me credit for that. All of these people he been robbing all of these years. And I know I'm responsible for him losing at least $125 million in the past 2 months. I say that with pride.
Yeah, so
Don't
Jack,
nobody want to give me credit for what I do.
Jaguar was right.
yeah, they might say you're bringing down our black billionaires, Jack. You're bringing our black billionaires down.
How can I do that? I'm a liar, right? How could I do that? I'm crazy, right? How could I do that if I'm not right?
Come on.
See, I don't need to be right. I just need to admit that y'all was wrong. If I could get a dollar for every person that's called me a liar in the past 5 years, then I would be financing.
You
I buy
seem
my
like
satellite next week.
You do seem like a keeper of information.
Nobody's thinking about the fact that a compromised national network like the National Broadcasting Company allowed a bullying job happen to a 37-year-old traumatized autistic woman with no comfort there, with no one there to shield her, to give her peace. Anyone who knows autistic people, they crumble in social settings and they'll do anything and say anything just to get you to stop pressuring. NBC should be sanctioned for that.
Right.
They
What do you
should
thought?
be sued, and they should pay her.
Yeah, what do you thought with NBC putting her out? Just even interviewing her
I
behind.
think they're just as grubby for what they done to R. Kelly and then give Jay-Z a fluffball interview. Where's Gail?
Where's Gail?
Why Gail ain't got no interview for the Carters? They're such good friends.
Hey.
Where's Gail? What, she trying to keep the bread away from Oprah before she passed out on a Ozempic again? I don't know. Where is it?
bail. $50 million. And the judge still said, no way. That happened on August 4th, 2025. And the reason? They think he's too dangerous and might run away or hurt more people. The judge basically looked at Diddy's history of violent behavior and said, nope, you're
Jaguar Wright told us that Diddy learned everything from Clive Davis. Jaguar Wright has explained how much of a monster Clive Davis is, and she constantly says that Diddy learned everything from him. Jaguar Wright claimed that Clive Davis had something to do with Whitney Houston's unaliving because she was getting ready to leave Clive Davis's record label because she realized she was missing a whole bunch of money. And a lot of people thought it was terrible when Clive Davis continued to party even though Whitney Houston had just died in the same hotel. And then to add that with even more mystery, it was super weird when Whitney Houston gave this note to Brandy the night before she passed away. And honestly, I want to know what that note says more than anything honestly in the world. And then after Whitney Houston passed away, Bobby Brown's sister started saying that Whitney's death was no accident and saying that Bobby Christina was not safe.
Whitney Houston's body told anybody upon looking at it that it was foul play. Okay, don't get it twisted. No, Whitney Houston, I counted at least 10 gashes in her chest alone. She had marks up and down her legs. Her fingernails were chipped. Her face was busted out. It was blown up. Yes, as if somebody was punching her in the face. Whitney Houston fought for her life.
Jaguar Wright claimed that this happened to Whitney Houston because she was trying to leave Clive Davis. And then she said the same thing happened to Bobby Christina because Bobby Christina inherited Whitney Houston's estate. And Jaguar Wright claimed that Bobby Christina's boyfriend had a meeting with Clive Davis, and this is how Clive Davis basically set it up to make the same thing happen to Bobby Christina.
Furthermore, it is said that Diddy's parents, one of whom was allegedly a government informant, had a significant influence on him as well.
Did y'all see when they interviewed Dapper Dan about Diddy?
I haven't seen that one. Please.
They ran into Dapper Dan in Harlem and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy and if he knew Diddy. And I love Dapper Dan for this. He said, I grew up with his parents. He said, and what's going on with him has been going on long before him. Now, his father was a government snitch and a bad actor in the criminal world altogether. But there's whispers in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive. Not his biological mother, but that woman is his aunt.
Whoa.
There are whispers.
Wait a minute.
There are whispers